What if everything you knew about COVID-19 was a lie? Behind the masks and vaccines, could there be a hidden agenda? Today we uncover the shocking theories about the pandemic that shook the world. We all remember it, man. The world went from 0 to 100 miles an hour straight into a freaking brick wall. One moment life was bustling and the next everything just stopped. It was like someone hit the pause button on the entire planet. COVID-19. It wasn't just some virus, it was an invisible enemy that changed everything we knew about our daily lives. It was a global freaking nightmare. People were dropping like flies. Hospitals looked like something out of a zombie apocalypse movie, and the healthcare system was pushed to its absolute limits. Doctors and nurses were heroes on the front lines, fighting a battle they never signed up for. And the economy, forget about it. Gone. Kaput. Businesses shuttered, markets crashed, and financial stability became a distant memory for so many. Millions got hit hard. Jobs lost, businesses shut down, families torn apart. The ripple effects were felt in every corner of the globe. It was like the whole world was holding its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Every day brought new uncertainties, new fears, and in the middle of all this chaos, something else started happening. People started asking questions. They wanted to understand what was really going on. See, when you're scared and you're hurting, you start looking for answers. You want to know why this is happening, why it's happening to you. And when the answers you're getting don't add up, you start looking somewhere else. Why this is happening, why it's happening to you. And when the answers you're getting don't add up, you start looking somewhere else. You start questioning the official narratives. That's where things get interesting, man. That's where the doubt creeps in. People began to wonder if they were being told the whole truth. Were we really being told the whole truth about this virus? Where it came from, how it spread, what it really meant? The questions kept piling up. People started digging, man, and what they found, well, let's just say it made a lot of folks question everything. The search for truth became a quest that united people across the globe, all seeking to understand the reality behind the chaos. Now this one is a doozy. The lab leak theory, it's a topic that has sparked endless debates and controversies. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? A plot straight from a Hollywood blockbuster. A virus engineered in a lab accidentally gets out and boom, global pandemic. The stuff of nightmares. But here's the thing, it's not as crazy as it sounds. In fact, it's a theory that has gained traction over time. Wuhan, China. That's where it all started. The epicenter of the outbreak. And guess what else is in Wuhan? A place that has become infamous in this narrative. The Wuhan Institute of Virology, a name that now rings a bell for many, a high-security lab known for studying, you guessed it, coronaviruses, the very viruses that have caused global panic. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe not. It's a question that lingers. At first everyone was like, nah, that's nuts, couldn't happen. It was dismissed as a wild conspiracy. But then things started leaking out. Emails, documents, whistleblower testimonies, pieces of a puzzle that didn't quite fit the official story. And suddenly the official narrative started to look a little shaky. People began to question what they were told. And I'm not saying it's true, but I'm not saying it's not true either. It's a theory that deserves scrutiny. But it makes you think, right? It opens up a Pandora's box of possibilities. If this virus did escape from a lab, was it an accident, a tragic mishap, or was it something more intentional, a deliberate act with unknown motives? And if it was intentional, who the hell would do something like that? And why? What could be the end game? These are the questions, man, the kind that make you question everything. These are the questions that keep you up at night, the mysteries that haunt our modern world. Let's talk about money, man, specifically the pharmaceutical industry. Big pharma. These guys are making billions, with a B, off the pandemic. Vaccines, treatments, you name it. And that's where things get a little, shall we say, suspicious. Think about it. If you're big pharma and you've got a product that everyone needs, a product that's making you richer than God, are you really in a hurry to end the pandemic? Some people say no. They say big pharma has a vested interest in keeping this thing going. Lockdowns, fear campaigns, mandatory vaccinations. They say it's all about keeping the profits rolling in. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do like to follow the money. And when you follow the money in this case, it leads to some pretty dark places. Are we being played? Are we being used to line the pockets of these pharmaceutical giants? It's a question worth asking, man. Because when it comes to power and money, nothing is off the table. Chapter 4. The Great Reset. Okay, Strap yourselves in for this one, folks, because we're about to dive into some deep, dark waters. This isn't just any ordinary topic, it's one that has sparked countless debates and theories. We're talking about the Great Reset. Ever heard of it? It's a term coined by the World Economic Forum, those bigwig elites who meet every year in Davos. They gather to discuss the future of the world, but not everyone is convinced their intentions are pure. They talk about global issues, climate change, poverty and economic inequality, but some folks think they're up to something a little more sinister. They believe there's a hidden agenda behind these discussions. The theory goes that COVID-19, this whole pandemic, was the perfect excuse, the perfect storm to usher in this great reset. The unprecedented global crisis provided a unique opportunity for radical change. Think about it. Economies are crippled, people are scared, governments have more control than ever. Businesses are closing, unemployment is rising, and the public is more dependent on government aid. What better time to reshape the world in your image, right? It's a chance to rebuild society from the ground up according to a new vision. Now, the folks who believe in this, they see it as a power grab, a way for these elites to consolidate their control, take away our freedoms, and create a globalist society where they call the shots. They argue that it's all about control and dominance. They point to things like digital currencies, mass surveillance, even the push for a one-world government as evidence. These are seen as tools to monitor and control the population. Is it true? I don't know, man. It's hard to say for sure. There are so many layers to this theory, and it's difficult to separate fact from fiction, but it's a wild theory, and it definitely makes you think about who really benefits from all the chaos and change we've been seeing. In the end, it's up to each of us to stay informed and question the narratives presented to us. Chapter 5.5G and the virus. All right, folks, we're going to get a little weird now. We're going to talk about 5G, the super fast internet that everyone's talking about. Well, some people think it's more than just faster download speeds. They think it's actually making us sick. Yeah, you heard me right. They think 5G is causing COVID-19, or at least they think it's weakening our immune systems, making us more susceptible to the virus. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, come on, man, that's crazy talk. And you know what? You might be right. There's no scientific evidence to support this theory, but that hasn't stopped it from spreading like wildfire online. People are scared, man. They see this new technology rolling out at the same time as a global pandemic, and they're looking for answers. And sometimes the simplest answer, even if it's the craziest, is the most appealing. Chapter 6, Population Control. This one's a classic, folks. It's the granddaddy of all conspiracy theories. Population control. The idea that someone, somewhere, is trying to thin the herd. And guess what? COVID-19 is the perfect tool for the job. Think about it. A deadly virus sweeps the globe, killing millions. Sounds like a pretty effective way to reduce the population, right? Now, who would want to do such a thing? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Some people point the finger at Bill Gates. Yeah, the Microsoft guy. They say he's using his billions to fund vaccines that are actually sterilizing people. They say he wants to control the world's population. Now, I've met Bill Gates. He's a smart dude, passionate about global health. But is he a supervillain plotting to depopulate the planet? I don't know, man. It sounds crazy, but then again, so does a lot of stuff these days. So we've talked about a lot of crazy theories, man. Lab leaks, big pharma conspiracies, 5G causing COVID, Bill Gates trying to sterilize everyone. It's a lot to process, right? But here's the thing. It's not really about the theories themselves. It's about why people believe them. Why do these conspiracy theories take root and spread like wildfire? I think it comes down to trust, man. Or rather the lack of it. People have lost faith in institutions, in governments, in the media. They're looking for answers and they're not finding them in the mainstream. So they turn to alternative sources, to online forums, to YouTube channels, to podcasts like this one, and they find communities of like-minded people who share their doubts, their fears, their anger. It's easy to dismiss these people as crazy, as conspiracy theorists, but I think it's more complicated than that. I think they're searching for something, man. They're searching for truth, for meaning, for a sense of control in a world that feels increasingly chaotic and uncertain. So where does that leave us? What's the truth about COVID-19? Was it a lab leak, a bioweapon, a population control scheme, or was it just a really, really bad virus that caught the world by surprise? Honestly, man, I don't know, and I don't think anyone does, at least not for sure. There's so much we still don't know about this virus, about its origins, about its long-term effects. And that's the thing about truth, isn't it? It's elusive, it's slippery. Just when you think you've got a handle on it, it wriggles free. But that doesn't mean we should stop searching for it. We need to keep asking questions, keep digging, keep challenging the official narrative. Because the truth, as they say, is out there, somewhere. All right, folks, that's it for me. But this conversation isn't over. I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Do you believe any of these conspiracy theories? Why or why not? Let's have a real conversation about this stuff. No judgment, just open minds. And hey, while you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Let's get as many people as possible talking about these important issues. So, we've gone down some rabbit holes today, haven't we? We're talking about some wild stuff, but that's the thing about this whole COVID situation, man. It's got everyone questioning everything. Look, I don't have all the answers. I'm just a guy who likes to talk to interesting people and explore different perspectives. But I think it's important to have these conversations, even if they make us uncomfortable. Because the more we talk about these things, the more likely we are to find some answers. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, we'll uncover some truths that they don't want us to know.